Tammy Bruce is with us, Fox News political contributor, independent Women's Voice president. She's also a Washington Times columnist. Deneen Borelli, Fox News contributor. She's a CRTV.com host. Danielle McLaughlin, she's our liberal commentator for the evening. Tammy, let me start with you. I haven't seen you in a while. I saw your tweet. You met President Trump, I think, in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
We saw all the enthusiasm from the rally and all that other stuff, but this has been a really bad week for the Republican Party. I think it hasn't been President Trump's best week either. And tomorrow, to me, is a big moment of truth. How are they going to handle it?
Well, this is another example where the president, I think, does have a handle on the nature of what's going on and how he's willing to adjust in dealing with something that may be shifted. But keep in mind, his executive order is not something that was foreign to him. He said from the beginning he wanted that to be changed, but he wanted Congress to do it so that we weren't governing through executive orders,
right, and to be
which
clear,
you can change
and to be clear, to your point, though, Congress, and with all due respect to Jason
He's out
Jacobs,
now. It's good.
Felt like they gave up. They abdicated their role. They forgot what the framers meant when the Constitution, and they let Barack Obama have a run of the table.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you on that one.
It helped.
Yes.
It suited the establishment because no one had to take positions. They were in the Barack Obama mode where you weren't even really having to vote. And so you had the executive orders.
Tomorrow, America's asking them to take a stand, right? Isn't it time that they actually now do their job?
Well, here's the other problem, of course. There's no real leadership in Congress right now. So, and this is what the president tweeted that affected some of the conservatives, saying, does it even really matter because the Senate's not going to pass it? So what is this kind of dog and pony show that goes on is kind of a demonstration if we really aren't going to get something out of the Senate. And this is where Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan come in, and Paul Ryan is a lame duck when it comes to what he can maneuver. But these are the things. The president went there the night that I met him on Tuesday. He went there and he met with all the Republicans, and they talked about what needed to happen. Leadership's going to be required, but it is also, make no mistake, the president's not in the wind here. November is coming up. It is another reminder that there has to be more individuals in Congress who are going to support the president's agenda. That's going to be his messaging.
The other end of this, of course, is that the Democrats, I think they're overplaying their hand with respect to the executive order of yesterday. I mean, listen, President Trump now is going to make sure this family separation doesn't happen. But what I'm hearing now from the Democratic Party is that this is still not good enough. And essentially what they're advocating is sort of open borders, right? No arrests 100 miles in the border. It's just almost so far-fetched. And you're too young to remember, but it reminds me of Leon Lett on Thanksgiving a few years ago in football. The guy's running for a touchdown and he's showboating, and someone knocks the ball out of his hand right before he gets it. The Democrats are showboating right now, but we need results, though. Are they going to actually use this as an opportunity to get something done, or will they run with the PR victory?
You know, I'm not sure that Republicans alone can get this done. I think their compromise bill is
that's why your party has to help.
Well, it's really between the conservative wing and the more moderate wing of the Republican Party, number one. Number two, I will say that there are plenty of people in the Democratic Party that don't like the way that President Obama dealt with the border, and that even family detention was extremely problematic. There are alternatives to detention that have worked, things like monitoring, community-based services. People who have lawyers, 98% of the time, actually get to those hearings on removal. If you don't have a lawyer,
so it sounds like 80% of them don't have lawyers then, because something is wrong. Because
but there
once
are
they're in,
alternatives
they
to
don't
family
go to those hearings. That's one of the problems. But this is another golden opportunity for Democrats to play a role in the solution rather than fanning the flames. I mean, again,
and to Jason's point,
maybe they'll go with this and think it helps them in November, and nothing gets done.
Well, I think most Americans don't want them to be playing politics. And to Jason's point, why can't we take this thing one at a time? Why can't we have a comprehensive solution to family detention or putting them out of the community, just get that one and done and move on to the next big thing?
And what are your thoughts?
Well, I'd say the Democrats, if they really wanted to do something, they could have done so when they had the supermajority under former President Obama. I think they continue to use immigration as a political tool to game the system, to get more votes. The other thing with the Republicans, and this is like watching the sausage being made, right? Politics and who's doing what and saying what. With Republicans, you got the establishment and you got the conservatives. So there's infighting there. They're not on the same page. What they need to do is get on the same page with funding the border, ending the visa lottery, ending the chain migration. Those are important keys, and those are some of the things that a lot of Americans really want to see happen.
Yeah, but I guess the magic word is compromise, right? First within the Republican Party, ultimately within Congress, and again, you just wonder, right? we talk about November, but I'm not sure they'll do so well if they can't get this resolved because they fumbled Obamacare, but they had great success since then. So the voters have sort of forgotten that. But I don't know that they can fumble this one.
I love your Leon Lett analogy because
I don't know. Old enough to remember it.
That, that was exactly the right analogy. Look, the problem that I always have is that they don't let these members vote, and leadership always makes this mistake on both sides of the aisle. They try to protect their members from tough votes. Put them up there. If it fails, it fails. Then they can go back to their constituency, and their constituents can say, why did you vote against that? Or why did you vote for that? But the problem isn't so much in the House, because there you just have to get the simple majority. But ultimately, in order to get a bill done, you're going to need 9 Democrats. And Chuck Schumer is already out there saying there's no bill that he could possibly support. What kind of attitude is that?
And they're pushing this false dilemma. It's either or, the false dynamic of either it's got to be a complete open borders is the only solution, or a draconian dynamic in dealing with applying the law. The president has said, and I think most Americans agree, our laws make us a compassionate country. Right. And that is what the president's going to have to make sure gets applied and gets communicated to the rest of the country, because that's what we expect.
It's high noon. We'll know a lot more tomorrow. Thank you all.